and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about like and subscribe right now. Like up, like down. Subscribe. I need 100 to unlock the functions. Right now. Click, click. Doesn't cost a thing. It's free. Click it. Click it now. Okay. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how running the earth like a business is bad. We need to be running the earth like a machine. Okay? Now, the difference is this. In business, you have this profit motive and this greed motive, and in a machine, you have a maintenance motive, repair motive, keeping the thing running motive, okay? That's the difference, okay? Now, as far as technology is concerned, okay, we have really only had the technology to progress to the next level of human evolution, which is a resource-based economy, okay, which is doing away with war, famine, pretty much everything bad, okay? Now, this technology that we have only had for about 10 years is actually a couple different technologies. I mean, there's a vast amount of technologies it's going to take to run this. But crucial technologies are blockchain and smartphones. Between those two technologies, we have the capability to start running the planet like a machine. That's simple. Okay? Sure, we have a little ways to go from going from currently where we are and how we operate and what we do to what we should be doing, okay? Which what we should be doing isn't based on what this person feels or what this religion feels or what this no. Human health is paramount. If that's paramount, the health of the earth is paramount, okay? So you work backwards from there. Right? So, most people right now are doing fake jobs, right? Because in this capitalist world, capitalist and socialist world, I mean, granted, the communists and the socialists, right, which, you know, communism is just further down the road from socialism, right? You have a little down the road is democratic socialism, a little farther down the road is socialism, a little further down the road is communism. And there's really hardly any of that going on with good examples. Like the capitalists fuck with all the socialists so hard, even democratic socialists. So hard. I mean, they just coup the guy in Bolivia, and I mean, all through the 60s, 70s, 80s, I mean, if you said you were a communist and you lived in South America, you most likely were gonna get killed, disappeared, okay? So, I really all over the world, really. I mean, not just South America, but that was really the worst place for it. Well, I mean, shit. Look how many people we killed in Vietnam trying to stop the commies, you know, their progress down through Indochina. And where are they going to go next if they just are unstopped at Vietnam? Are they going to progress down in... Yeah. So, that's the dynamic we have. So pretty much everything is run capitalist. I mean, even Vietnam right now, the country we battled for, you know, forever, because we were there a lot earlier than we say we were, okay? And I've actually fucking talked to, See, I'll get sidetracked on this. This is one of my prison stories, but let's just say one of those guys that was in that was a war fucking hero, and it was a war hero on Nellis Air Force Base. This guy said about me that I was a fucking hero. For something that I did. Right. This guy that was treated with a lot of respect on Nellis Air Force Base because they knew who the fuck he was. And he had respect for me because of what I did. Okay? So I digress and I get sidetracked. A little qualifying right there. But I got lots of good stories like that. You should go look at my autobiography playlist. So, back to how we need to be running the planet like a machine instead of like a business, okay? So, we really don't have a lot of examples of how, like, for instance, Russia. I can't tell you how many, or not Russia, the USSR. I can't tell you how many people in those societies were doing fake work. I don't know enough about them. Like, how many actors were there? How many accountants were there? How many judges were there? How many people running jails were there? Right? Because all that BS is in socialism too. Okay? The jails, the torture, all of it. It's on both sides. Right? Guess what side it's not on? It's not on the resource-based economy side, right? And that's because a resource-based economy is based on reward, not penalty, okay? So in our systems, regardless of what they are, every fucking system we have is the same. Whether it's communist, whether it's fascist, whether it's capitalist, democracy, whatever it is, whatever's going on, they all are exactly identical when it comes to how they administer your behavior. Okay? And it's all punishment-based systems. All of them. So they're all identical. They all have laws that tell you what you can and can't do, and if you don't, then they're going to fucking torture you to death. Okay? So trying to tell me that these systems are different, I don't really see it. From my perspective, they all look kind of the same to me. I mean, China keeps, everybody says the Chinese Communist Party, but it looks fascist to me. I mean, if you really know about how to identify systems and what they actually are, I mean, you can call a fucking piece of dog shit a remote control. If you want, there's a piece of shit on the ground. That's a remote control. You could call it whatever you want. Doesn't mean that piece of shit on the ground is actually a remote. No, it's actually shit. Just because someone calls it a remote control doesn't mean it's a remote control. Okay? Same with the fucking Chinese Communist Party. Okay? So, they all are based on these punishment-based systems. In other words, you fucking do everything. You behave, you do this, you do that. And even if you do all that, there's no even guarantee that you aren't going to be mistaken identity. You aren't going to piss somebody off inadvertently and end up fucking... I mean, there is so many ways currently. Now, all that goes away with the resource-based economy because guess what? When everybody has one of these things, right? And these things are actually dialed in the way they should be dialed in, okay? Which right now they're dialed in for capitalism, right? They're dialed in to try to sell you shit. They're dialed in to fucking track you and to try to figure out how to sell you more shit. That's what these things are fucking doing right now. It's fucking stupid, okay? We fucking changed these things over to monitoring health, monitoring the weather, monitoring your surroundings, fucking, all these things for human health. Okay, now, you're like, well, what's going to keep... Well, look, when your life in a resource-based economy looks like this, right, you don't have to lock your door. You don't ever see homeless people. You don't ever hear fucking stories about people running up in places shooting people. You don't have to hear about how we're drone bombing all this and that, and bombing and killing and all these things, right? So that's your reality now. And so this reality makes people behave in a certain way. It makes people fucking behave in a desperate way. It makes people behave in bad ways. It makes people try to do all kinds of things to try to get by, okay? Try to get their piece of the pie. And that is super inefficient. Because what it would look like in a resource-based economy is you'd wake up, you'd look at your phone and see if you're needed and your technical abilities are needed at some sort of whatever it may be that's an actually important thing that needs to happen for human health. Not because it needs to happen because somebody needs to make profit, needs to make money to get by, okay? So it's a whole different mindset, right? But it's just a matter of changing what's going on up here all around the world. Because the resource-based economy is not a system that can be just implemented here. No, this is what the entire world needs to come together and do, period. Okay? That's it. So, in a resource-based economy, your house is your house. You want to move. And you're like, oh, I would like to move to Europe, or I'd like to move to Africa, or I'd like to move to Asia, wherever you'd like to move. And somebody there wants to move as well. So on the blockchain, your house, or their apartment, or their mansion, or whatever it may be, okay? Now, if you put it out for I would like to move, and then people are in queues to get into this. And I'm thinking that the housing will kind of fall into like a number system from a 1 to a whatever, and your basic here. Everybody kind of stays where they are. We get all the homeless up. The rich people don't have more than one house. I mean, that's the big change right there. Okay, rich people with 27 houses, pick one. That's it, Take whatever you want out of the other houses. Don't pour fucking concrete down the toilets, punk ass shit like that. But, you get your fucking one house, and if you got fucking kids, they get a house. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure people will want to work the system like a motherfucker for, a generation or two until greed and envy is just worked out of the system, okay? But, so you'll have, okay, you're like, for instance, right? What is the point of an 18-year-old male, single male, to have a mansion? There is no point. It would not make any sense. Now, for like a 25-year-old guy that has a wife or a partner or whatever, and they both have licenses to breed, and they have like 3 kids, like, they get to fucking move into maybe a mansion because they're going to fucking be breeding and they need the room. All these mansions with empty fucking rooms, those are baby factory houses, right? So if you have license to breed, you get a mansion-ish, eventually, right? Because, right now you got all the rich people that are just, they got like 27 of them, 50 of them. 4 of them, 5 of them, right? That leaves a lot for other people. And, when you talk about winning and losing, there's this really small fraction of people, like the 0.1% or the 1% or whatever you want to say, that's going to lose. But are they really going to lose? I mean, unless you're just a straight sociopathic piece of human trash, you want the whole planet to do well. You want everybody to have a good life. That's just being a good human, okay? So if you're just a rich person and you want to stop all this because you don't want to lose your 27 houses, yeah. This is what stands. What stands in our way is that and the religion, okay? So, and people back to how people are motivated to behave, right? I.e., not killing, robbing, raping, the real fucking crimes. Like, we have 750,000 laws on the books. Go ahead and figure out what the fuck all that shit is. 750,000 things you can't do. Well, I can't even think of fucking 750 things I can and can't do in this world, let alone 750,000, right? So it's just all bullshit, right? So basically, for behaving yourself, you get a fucking great life. You literally are in the queue to go to the most fabulous fucking places in the world on vacations. Now, these vacations aren't going to be like the vacations now because there's nobody to wait on you. There's nobody to clean up after you. There's nobody to cook for you. You do that yourself. That's how you're not going to be a fat, lazy piece of shit. So, if you then, hypothetically, don't behave yourself, whatever it may be, say you just like, fuck, I don't have to work. Who's to make me work? I'm not going to go do that. I'm not going to, fuck this stupid phone thing. I'm not going to put up with that shit. Okay, guess what? You're pulled right out of the queue to go to these fucking fabulous places around the world, right? Not like you're going to be pulled out of the queue for food, but there might be like certain food, like, because in a resource-based economy, right, we have to balance the planet like a machine, and if cows are just fucking the planet up, right, we might have to roll back a little bit on the cow, a little bit maybe, so there'll be, cow might be, I'm just using it as an example. We might be able to get around that. I don't know. Maybe ending all the car driving will enable us to have plenty of cows, right? Now people are going to argue, oh, we should be vegan. Eat right for your blood type. Enough said. So, for example, there might be, like certain foods that, are limited. And some people might want that. Some people might not want that. So some foods, you might be in the queue. Some foods that are destroying the planet or super rare, whatever stuff, fruit you haven't even heard of yet because we've got that kind of thing, whatever it may be. These are the things that then you would lose. You don't lose like food. You don't lose like freedom. Well, I mean, let's say we get a sociopath and they're fucking just killing people. Number one, we'll know who did it. It's not going to be this whole entire system of fucking, witnesses and juries and all this bullshit. No. When everyone has one of these fucking things, we know who did it. Simply. Right? So there's no need for this giant overblown criminal justice system in a resource-based economy. Pointless. Now, it's not like a light switch, and I've said this before. We got to migrate and switch, and this system has created some really fucking evil, psychotic people, and they're locked up and being tortured all the time. And if you're just to let all them people just, here you go, might not be the best thing for human health. So these things are things we have to fucking work through, and I hope we will start to get to them. We need to get on this level here, okay? And I'm hoping I'm getting to some of the next generation, because the kids of today, I have so much more hope for than any adult of my generation at all, okay? I don't see people in my generation trying to clean up the fucking planet. I see kids, I see young adults cleaning up the planet, doing really important work, but yeah, I just see a bunch of greedy pieces of shit. Other than that, that's capitalism. Greed, greed, greed. How much little work can I do to try to get more money? I mean, the entire system's based on fucking buying this fucking thing that got pooped out of a fucking machine for fucking, pennies. This is selling this thing for fucking $4. For whatever the fuck it was, and that gravy in between is how the whole system works, right? And it's just ridiculous. I mean, it got us to here. And I'll say it again. We've only had the technology, blockchain, smartphones for about 10 years. Okay? So, there it is there. Resource-based economy. Happy New Year. Please subscribe. Peace.